When encountering the narrative of the Bible, whether you are reading for pleasure or engaging in deep study, there will come a time when you come upon a rather strange and fantastic story. Even right now, I can imagine that there are several that'll come to your mind. Now, apart from the law in the Old Testament, it appears that many of these stories presuppose that the audience will already know what the characters should do and what they should not have done. Apart from Paul and the general epistles, letters, instructions, the New Testament adopts the same method of moral revelation. The best way to teach morals is through a story. We can clearly see this with Jesus' practice and repeated use of parables. But what about the actual history within the Bible? This is where we come to the distinguishing factors of prescription and description. Which parts of the Bible are merely describing an event for the reader to reflect upon and experience through the text, and which parts of the Bible are prescriptive, showing us what we are to do once we finish reading the passage. This is, at its core, the great struggle of hermeneutics, the distinction between describing a history and prescribing a principle, which is recalling a past event and which is forthtelling a command. The subject has already been touched on in our previous video, Encountering the Old Testament, and the Holman Old Testament commentary on Genesis, but it'll be further emphasized in this course. This course has two texts, the Acts commentary and the EBS Encountering the New Testament text. Let's look at the Acts commentary. The book is divided into three sections. First, an introduction to the book of Acts. This section focuses on the title, the authorship, dates, a survey explanation of the book's contents, an explanation of the literary genre, an analysis of Luke's theology, and a basic explanation of the manuscript sources that are most reliable for our current translations of the book of Acts. Second, an outline of Acts. This 5-page section provides a literary and chronological breakdown of the book of Acts. Already, you should begin to prepare to read the text with the questions of description and of prescription at the forefront of your mind. Which parts of Acts are prescribing what we should do and describing history, which we should not repeat? And third, the NIV commentary. This is where the bulk of your reading will occur. For the next several hundred pages, the author takes us through verse-by-verse analysis of the book of Acts. This commentary is further broken down into 6 subsections. The Church Established, chapters 1 through 2. Ministry in Jerusalem, chapters 3 through 8, verse 4. Ministry in Samaria and Judea, chapters 8, verse 5 through 11, verse 18. Antioch, a new center, chapters 11, verse 19 through 18, verse 22. Ephesus, a new center, chapter 18, verse 23 through 20, verse 38. And the road to Rome, chapter 21 through 28. These subsections are further broken down into 2 more sections, allowing the reader to achieve an overarching understanding of the history recorded in the book of Acts. Paul also provides intimate details of the various figures and events in the Christian faith. After reading and studying this book, you should be able to do the following. Obtain a better understanding for the historical, cultural, and linguistic context of the book of Acts. Relate principles and themes presented within the text. Formulate and complete passage outlines. Teach and instruct others about the given passage. This book was selected by the IPHC and NHM Schools of Ministry for the following reasons. It provides a historically accurate and theologically sound interpretation of the book of Acts from a distinctly Pentecostal perspective. It also helps establish which passages are descriptive and which passages are prescriptive. In addition to the Acts commentary, this course also includes the EBS book Encountering the New Testament. Let's look at the second text. This book is divided into 4 parts: Jesus and the Gospels, Acts and the earliest church, Paul and his epistles, and the general epistles and the Apocalypse. Within these 4 parts, there are 24 chapters. Each chapter contains 9 features. Rather than walking through all 24 chapters, we will be doing a brief survey of what each of the 9 features are and what they accomplish within the text, and for you, the reader, what you should learn from them. These are also included in the Encountering the Old Testament text. 1. Sidebars. The sidebars explore the ethics and theology in the Old Testament and how and if they matter today. 2. Focus boxes. The focus boxes emphasize the practical and relevant application or devotional thoughts of the chapter. 3. Chapter outline. The chapter outline provides the roadmap of the text and helps you have a clear understanding of the placement of the text in the overarching narrative of Scripture. 4. Chapter objectives. These sections provide what you should be learning from each chapter and also list the particular skills that you should be honing in the particular section. 5. Summary. Each chapter concludes with a brief summation of each chapter's content for you to review and re-emphasize what you just read and studied. 6. Key terms and glossary. Certain words and terms might be more important in one book as opposed to another. Analyzing the words and providing definitions will help you determine the importance of the words and terms in each given chapter. 7. Key people and places. These sections focus on the particular individuals of the text and also their particular geography and how these two pertain to the overall narrative of Scripture. 8. Study questions. Although we do not require the study questions which are found at the end of each chapter to be answered or filled out, these provide excellent sermon points, small group discussion questions, and personal growth reflection thoughts to ponder. 9. Further reading. You can never overstudy the Bible. Each chapter provides an additional list of texts that will help you better understand each Bible book beyond the chapter. There's always more to learn. After reading and studying this book, you should be able to do the following. Memorize and recognize the different literary and genre types contained within the New Testament. Construct sound interpretation of the text based on the historical context of each book contained in the New Testament. Employ and teach the historical perspectives of the various passages that may be referenced or explicitly addressed in sermons, small group discussions, or personal study. This book was selected by the IPHC and NHM Schools of Ministry for the following reasons. It is a simple and clear survey of the New Testament in light of its historical context. Though the text may be quite voluminous, it is also an essential resource for understanding the basic principles and themes contained within the New Testament. In addition to the Acts commentary and Encountering God in the New Testament workbooks, you have an additional assignment. Write at least a one-page essay in Times New Roman, double-spaced, at 12-point font on the following topic. Select two passages from the book of Acts, one that is descriptive and one that is prescriptive. Then explain why these passages are either descriptive or prescriptive. This has been course MCP 2.02 in the Ordination Level 1 Credentialing Series. Upon watching this course, please read the assigned text, complete the workbook, and type your essay. Please print the essay and place it in the back of your workbook. The next course will be over the text, The Life of Christ. Blessings, and study to show yourself approved.